Hey guys, today on People Now, sources open up about Miley Cyrus fighting with ex Liam Hemsworth about his partying ways.
We go inside the extraordinary lives of the royal kids to find out what it's really like growing up royal.
90210 star Shannen Doherty speaking out about life after breast cancer.
It's a pinch myself moment.
We're sitting down with the star-studded voice cast of the Angry Birds movie 2.
Children! Children!
He's starring in Stranger Things and Fleabag. Today, Brett Gelman tells us about life on the set of 2 of the hottest streaming shows.
It's all live today on People Now. Let's go.
Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Welcome to People Now. Here we go.
Yeah,
we're doing it.
Exciting.
Hump Day is here, halfway through. We can't get enough of the sibling duo, Prince George and Princess Charlotte. You know that if you watch us at all. We're obsessed with these kids. They are constantly stealing the show, and they're doing it again in this week's People Cover Story.
So cute. We'll get to that in a little bit, but we want to know which royal sibling duo is your favorite. Is it George and Charlotte? Is it William and Harry? Maybe Beatrice and Eugenie? Maybe 2 other siblings not on our list?
I need to choose.
Vote in our People poll or tweet us your answer with the hashtag People Now.
We'll check in on those fascinating results later in the show, but for now, here's what you need to know and what's trending for today. Miley Cyrus's public image may be that of a bit of a wild child, but sources now tell People that Cyrus actually fought with ex Liam Hemsworth privately about his own partying ways. A friend of the couple tells People exclusively everyone always thinks Miley's problematic and immature and a hardcore partier, while he's this chill surfer dude, but that's actually not accurate. Liam parties with his friends. Miley thinks he should have grown out of that by now. That's the source's quote. Another Cyrus source agrees that Hemsworth's personality is much more complicated than his quote super easygoing public image, explaining the actor can be moody. They say, quote, she's been supportive of him when things get dark, but it's tough. That's something that has weighed on Miley and their relationship. He can also lash out at her, and he hates the attention their ups and downs bring. Now, during Cyrus's recent vacation in Italy, she was spotted kissing Brody Jenner's ex, Caitlyn Carter, just hours before Cyrus and Hemsworth's split was announced. Multiple sources agree that Cyrus's public display of affection with the Hills reality star are partly because she is hurting from her breakup. A source says she's genuinely trying to have fun and put on a good face. Yes, she's trying to push Liam's buttons, whether she'll admit it or not, but she's hurt. On Monday, another insider told People that the 26-year-old singer really fought to make her marriage work, saying she wanted to go to therapy and she just wants to be in a healthy and focused place. Meanwhile, a friend of Cyrus's says the couple struggled over Miley's unconventional view of marriage. That source says, quote, he loves that she has her own career and focus, but he also wants a wife who cooks and would stay home with the kids. Back in 2015, Cyrus came out as pansexual and recently admitted to Vanity Fair that marriage was out of character for her. The two met in 2009 on the set of the movie The Last Song and had a rocky on-again, off-again relationship for years before tying the knot in December of 2018 at their Tennessee home. Now, the wedding came after their Malibu home was destroyed in the Woolsey fire. Healing from the loss of their home was hard on Cyrus, with the source saying that she took the fire a lot harder than Hemsworth did, but getting through it was easier because of him. A rep for Cyrus confirmed the couple's separation on Saturday. They split after 8 months of marriage. In this week's People Cover Story, we're taking a look at what it's like to grow up royal and the unique bond that royal siblings Prince George and Princess Charlotte share. Whether they are stealing the show at a royal wedding or watching their dad play polo, their brother-sister relationship is strengthened by their unique upbringing. After all, most kids don't get to call the queen Gan. Anyway, in this week's issue, an insider tells People that playdates with non-royal kids can be tricky, so the two have learned to, quote, lean on each other, adding that since they are so close in age, they spend so much time together. George and Charlotte will soon share even more time together when Charlotte joins her big brother at Thomas's Battersea School in just a few weeks. That's a $23,000 per year private school located about 3 miles from the family's Kensington Palace home. The source tells us that Charlotte can't wait to be with George at big school, and she is so excited about all of it. Stick around, guys. We'll have more about what it's like growing up royal later in the show when we are joined by People senior editor Jillian Telling. All right, Shannen Doherty has had a difficult few years. The actress is opening up in this week's issue of People about her terrifying battle with cancer and her daily recovery process. Doherty was diagnosed with breast cancer back in March of 2015. She initially underwent hormone therapy before ultimately undergoing a mastectomy, followed by brutal back-to-back rounds of chemo and radiation. Now, while she's in remission now, the actress says, quote, I don't think you're ever on the other side of cancer. I don't think about the fact that I'm in remission. I look at it like I'm lucky to be alive every minute, every second of the day. In fact, Doherty revealed to People just how difficult her battle got. Watch this.
I was in the middle of chemo and I was
you know, God, I think at that point I had dropped down to like 91 pounds and I couldn't keep anything in my body. And I knew that I was like, my whole body was shutting down. And my mom rushed me to my doctor and they, you know, literally had to like physically pick me up out of the car, put me in a wheelchair, take me into the doctor's office, like, again, lift me up, put me in a bed, and hook me up to IV for like hours because I was so dehydrated and they were worried that my organs were gonna start shutting down. That was the low point. That was, you know, the low point of like, wow, like this is really bad. And, but that too passed.
Such strength through the toughest moments there. We're going to hear even more from Shannen later in the show, including how she feels to be back on the reboot of Beverly Hills 90210. All right, onto this. A big story here. A$AP Rocky has been found guilty of assault over a week after being released from a highly publicized trial in Sweden. The rapper, who pleaded not guilty, was convicted of assault by the Stockholm District Court on Wednesday. 2 members of A$AP's entourage were also convicted. According to NBC News, A$AP Rocky will not return to jail. ABC News reports that the rapper and 2 members of his entourage have been given suspended sentences and ordered to pay damages to the victim. A$AP Rocky's real name is Rakeem Mayers. He was taken into custody on July 2nd after he was arrested in Stockholm following a street altercation involving 19-year-old Mustafa Jafari. A$AP was released on August 2nd, the final day of his high-profile trial at Stockholm District Court. You're looking at the sketches from his court appearance now. A$AP Rocky was on hand to hear testimony from witnesses, including his bodyguard, before closing arguments were held. Shortly after A$AP Rocky's verdict was announced, the rapper posted a photo of himself on his Instagram, thanking his fans, friends, and anyone across the globe who supported him these past few weeks. He adds in part, quote, "I can't begin to describe how grateful I am for all of you. This has been a very difficult and humbling experience. Thanks again for all of the love and support." Now, fans were elated to see A$AP Rocky return to the stage this past Sunday with a set at 92.3's Real Street Festival in Anaheim. That's in California. He referenced his ongoing court case, saying that it was a scary, humbling experience, but I'm here right now. That's what he said from stage there. CNN reports that when testifying earlier this month, A$AP Rocky alleged that while trying to download an app to use an electric scooter, his bodyguard was approached by the alleged victim. A$AP tells the court that things got a little weird. He says, "We thought that the behavior of these guys was strange. It got a bit scary." And in his testimony, the rapper alleged that although he and his entourage attempted to walk away from the incident, they were followed by Jafari and his friend. A$AP tells the court, "At this point, we are really scared. I saw my security guard being cut, bleeding. We didn't know what to expect with these strangers. I'm not from Sweden, so it was really scary. I wanted to go straight to the hotel for safety. I didn't want this to happen." He concluded by saying in his testimony, "What I want is justice. I want my name to be cleared. Justice for all of us." Now, A$AP Rocky spent nearly a month in jail since his arrest in July. His case gained national attention, with President Donald Trump calling the Prime Minister of Sweden to help release him from jail. Trump also sent presidential hostage affairs envoy Robert C. O'Brien to Sweden to attend the rapper's trial. Pretty bizarre story,
Yeah.
And it continues to kind of roll on. It seems like it's sort of concluded here, so we'll keep tabs on that. Andrea, you have more for us in Star Trek.
I do. We are kicking off Star Trek today with a wedding fit for Bachelor Nation. We've been dreaming of Ashley Iaconetti and Jared Haibon's Rhode Island wedding since Sunday, and their fairy tale wedding is on full display in this week's issue as they wed amid tears of joy 3 years after their Bachelor in Paradise stints. The newlyweds sat down with us right before they said "I do" and revealed that they wanted to make sure their big day was true to who they are. So they made sure to really dig into those personal touches. Take a look.
During the ceremony, we plan on having some readings from some of the very monumental scenes of rom-com history.
Yeah. So you know how a lot of people
that
do,
reflect us.
Exactly. You know how people do readings, like a reading from the Corinthians or blah, 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 blah.
We're not doing Bible verses, we're doing movie scripts.
Well, we just wanted to do something a little bit more personal. So we're going to send a groomsman and bridesmaid up there, and they're going to do a scene together.
So funny. And the personal touches did not end there. I mean, their dogs walked down the aisle. Very adorable. Plus, the couple's wedding cake was used to help symbolize their love story, thanks to the talented baker who baked it. Watch.
It's grand. It tells a story of our love, as Shelby says, with this vine that she has that kind of like bloom, has a rose bloom in certain areas to kind of say, oh wait, it's not fully blossomed.
Yeah, it's gonna blossom at the
Yeah,
wedding.
at the top, it's gonna be blossom.
But
at the top.
yeah, it was very symbolic, and she really hit some heart chords when she was talking about the cake and how much effort she put into it and how much she knew about the show and our back.
Yeah.
Like, even like she said, the Vine, and it was like, this was like your first season of Paradise, where it
was like
started
a little,
blooming,
like
but then it
a
went back
nub.
up, and it was like not fully bloomed here, and it's like, good God, this girl's amazing. And so she's flying in with her mom to bake the cake.
We knew we had to have her come in because she just personalized the cake, not in a cheesy, corny way, like here's sand to represent Bachelor in Paradise. Like she did something so tasteful for every moment of our relationship.
I love those touches. And with the signature cocktails, the personalized wedding vows, and grandiose cake, their wedding was truly spectacular. And seeing his bride walk down the aisle even made Jared cry, which Ashley reveals was the pinnacle of her life. And she looked stunning in her Inez de Santo dress that she wore for the ceremony in her first dance before changing into an Aligned by Rita Veneris gown, while Jared looked exquisite as her Prince Charming in a classic tux. And of course, they topped their wedding attire off with what else but Neil Lane wedding bands. Ashley's wedding band has more than 120 diamonds, according to Neil himself. Not too shabby there.
Neil getting gigs everywhere.
Yeah, and they had quite the guest list too. Their personalized ceremony was held in front of 180 guests, which included some Bachelor franchise alums like Nick Viall, who served as groomsmen, Caitlin Bristow, Ben Higgins. Ashley says they were blown away by the beauty and love that surrounded them. As for the first dance, they tapped American Idol alum David Cook, who covered Rob Thomas's Ever the Same. And the music of the day was really important to Ashley and Jared. They wanted their guests to appreciate each musical moment. Take a listen.
I think what's going to be really fun for our guests and what may distract them from the fact that there's not as much party music is the musical journey they're going to go on from the cocktail party band, which is a kid band. They're not kids, they're college students, and they play music from the 50s through the 80s. And they're gonna be there for 45 minutes. And then we're gonna have the quartet play movie scores for 30 minutes. And then we're gonna have the band come on, and then we're gonna have a DJ. So the mood will be transitioning with the music, which I'm really excited about.
And by the looks of it, it was a great time, such an elegant affair. Ashley says she and Jared are so excited to live forever as husband and wife. You can see more from Ashley and Jared's romantic wedding on PeopleTV and in People on newsstands Friday. All right, on to this. Talk about a throwback. The Jonas Brothers go back to the 80s in their new music video, Only Human. The music video is jam-packed with disco lights, grainy footage, colorful outfits, and synchronized dancing. So let's break down this gnarly vid. That's what they said in the 80s, Jeremy.
That's it.
The 80s-inspired video opens up with Nick, Kevin, and Joe Jonas on stage wearing Ray-Bans, surrounded by clubgoers, and Joe Jonas singing into old rotary phones, if you remember those.
Kind of threw it all in, right?
During the first chorus, the entire club joins in to sing the hit reggae pop song with Joe before the venue is filled with bubbles as Nick Jonas begins the chorus. I like the bubbles.
Honestly,
there.
the look is dead on. Just some old, retro, original 80s video.
It's wonderful. The Show Bros have an iconic 80s moment when Joe and Kevin dance on top of a vintage taxi cab. That's probably my favorite moment. Their clubgoers jog and dance in unison around them. The Only Human music video dropped just 1 week after the Jonas Brothers kicked off their worldwide Happiness Begins tour on August 7th with the show at the American Airlines Arena in Miami, Florida. The tour marks their first in nearly a decade, that's just crazy, time flies, and follows their highly anticipated reunion earlier this year. The tour will take them across the United States, Canada, Mexico, and Europe before coming to an end in February of 2020. Sophie Turner, Priyanka Chopra Jonas, and Danielle Jonas, known as the J Sisters, reunited to celebrate their respective husbands, Joe, Nick, and Kevin, at the first night of the tour last week. Priyanka posted a photo on Instagram with the caption, "Crushed it, so proud of you guys." I love the support there.
Well, no, yeah, it's great that they're like a pack now, right? They're all just there.
They are killing it with their reunion.
They really are.
I mean, all these music videos, too, are so great.
And the music, it actually holds up. It's not just like, oh, it's just because we have nostalgia. No, it's good new music.
It is. All right, on to this. Gigi Hadid and Tyler Cameron are spending even more time together. Watch out. The model and the Bachelorette alum were spotted walking around New York City together with a few friends on Tuesday night. Both were dressed super cash. Gigi wore a loose-fitted green t-shirt, ripped jeans, and a messy bun, while Tyler kept it simple in a white t-shirt and cuff jeans.
He is in the zone right here.
Oh, yeah. No, Tyler was first spotted with Gigi at Brooklyn's Soho House on August 4th. Then they spent the next evening together at Frame's Bowling Lounge with a group of friends. Now, Tyler has been spotted leaving Gigi's apartment at least twice, as far as we know. The pair's first outing came shortly after Tyler was spotted leaving his Bachelorette ex Hannah Brown's residence in LA. Hannah later shared on the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast that it was hard to see Tyler dating someone else so publicly, so soon, but she's not letting it hold her back, saying he has every right to do whatever he wants because we were, just hanging out, seeing where it goes. And I am completely fine with that.
This is the amazing team I've been working around the clock for.
Oh, you stupid bird.
Well, that's disappointing.
In the new Angry Birds movie, the birds and pigs find out there's a third island and unite to take on a common enemy in the Eagles. Kids across the country are gearing up to watch this epic battle, but Sterling K. Brown, who voices a new character in this movie, says don't assume anything about his character, people.
I'm a new character. I'm playing a pig. I'm not that angry. His name is Gary. I think really it's interesting. It's called Angry, but like really Red is the most angry.
100%. He's the only.
He's really the only angry bird.
Yeah.
It's Angry Bird plus birds and pigs and eagles. Yeah, Gary invents stuff. He's kind of like Q if Q were a pig and annoying and not that effective at his job. And yeah, we all join together to go against the Eagles because that's what brings people together. That's what brings pigs and birds together is a common foe.
And Jason Sudeikis returns to voice Red, revealing things have changed for the Angry Bird.
At the beginning, he's a little different because he's not as angry because he's a hero. He's a hero. So he's a little a little more prideful, a little more happier, if you will. But maybe not. Maybe only in the external way, as you sort of slowly figure out in the first few minutes of the movie, because his hero status is
It's tenuous.
It's tenuous. That's the perfect way to put it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Rachel Brown plays Silver and tells us she's excited for the little ones to see it for a very good reason. Take a look.
I love Silver. She is this amazingly smart engineer who joins the team to help save bird kind and pig kind, and is kind of the smartest person in the room, but is not the loudest voice in the room sometimes, which happens in real life a lot to women. And I'm so excited to be playing this character because I think it's really cool for little girls and little boys to see a smart woman in a STEM field and to see, oh, it's just commonplace. She's the smartest bird at Avian Academy, and no one's saying she's the smartest female bird at Avian Academy. Right. She's just the smartest bird.
I love her. It's such a fun cast. And it really is all about the kids for Sterling K and Jason. They really get a kick out of their kids, seeing them come to life in a different way. It's really cute. Watch.
They'll show you like the movie as it's being developed and as your character sort of develops from like the drawing to the animation to the movement of it and everything. And so as I'm watching it, I'm thinking of my kids and I'm saying, yo, they're gonna get a chance to see their dad in a cartoon. I don't know, that just, since Mel Blanc or whatever, I always had this dream of like animating a voice, and now it's coming to fruition. It's a pinch myself moment every time I go into to do the voice.
Yeah. Is this your first animated voiceover?
This is my first.
There you go. How about that?
Strange.
Thank
you, everyone.
But same thing, because we have 2.5 and 5-year-old, and it is an absolute hoot to want to get them to see that stuff. And I've done a few, but they're by no means used to it, and I hope they never get used to it.
I'm excited for their kids to see this. You can catch the Angry Birds movie 2 in theaters across the country, and those are your Star Tracks for today.
All right, guys, stay with us. What is life like with Ozzy Osbourne as your grandpa? Well, Sharon Osbourne is taking us inside their lives with their 3 grandkids. Plus, you know and love Brett Gelman from Stranger Things and Fleabag. He will be here live joining us in just a little bit. Stick around.
All right, we've been asking you which royal sibling duo is the definition of goals for you in our People poll. Let's take a look. If we're still saying goals, I think we are.
There we go, George and Charlotte.
That's not surprising. Well, William and Harry.
Beatrice and Eugenie.
Oh, no. There's still time.
I think we would have all predicted that. All right, keep voting. You can change the outcome. You have time. Let's jump right into our cover story.
Yes, joining us now is People's senior editor, Jillian Telling. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Let's jump into this. In a few weeks, 4-year-old Princess Charlotte will be joining her brother, 6-year-old Prince George, at Thomas's Battersea School.
Yep.
Why is it so special that they're going to be in the same school?
Well, it's special because, I mean, generations ago, this was unheard of. You know, the royals did not go to school with their peers.
Yeah.
You know, they were homeschooled completely. So the fact that they're going together for the first time, you know, George has been there for 2 years. He's so excited to show her the ropes, and
That's great.
she's so excited to go. It's just really special.
Yeah, so they're both there and they're both in the midst of other students. All a big deal. Yeah.
And the desire to raise kids as normal as possible is nothing new for the royals, right?
Right. Well, even Queen Elizabeth in the 50s, she said, I want to raise my children as normal as possible. It was just a fantasy back then. You know, you were raised by nannies. They had standing appointments with their mother twice a day. They would meet her, you know, for 30 minutes at a time. They didn't travel with the parents who would be gone for months at a time. So, you know, it was expressed, but it wasn't possible. But these days it is.
Yeah, it is. It's a different era for sure. Kate Middleton and Prince William's parenting style is something that gets a lot of attention, heavily influenced by Princess Diana. Explain that to us.
Well, Diana was very hands-on. She was the first royal to take William when he was 1 year old on one of her trips down under. Of course, they took Prince George down under when they went, and Harry and Meghan as well. They're going to travel with baby Archie when they go to Africa soon. So really just being hands-on, taking them with them, being as normal as possible. Diana used to take them to McDonald's even.
Yeah. So normal for them is really just staying together, honestly, because their schedules require them to be everywhere. Right.
Just
Now,
being a
a
family.
source tells people that Prince George and Princess Charlotte have very different personalities. So break this down for us.
So George is a little more reserved. He's, you know, the heir to the throne. He's first in line, after his dad, of course. And then Charlotte's just a little goofy. She's like funny and she's spirited. And you could see it at this royal sailing event recently where she was sticking out her tongue playfully. And
which is so adorable.
It's so just like normal, you know, and cute.
Yeah, you've mentioned this a little bit, Diana, and how she modernized the royals, making work more of a family affair, taking the kids on tour. Talk about William and Harry and a little bit more about what they have coming up and how they're following in the footsteps.
Yeah, well, they are very modern dads. You know, Prince William, he practices something called active listening, which is where you get down on the level of the kid and you know, have eye contact when you're speaking with them, and Harry's very doting. So they're completely different from generations before. They're just real dads like you, Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm also real, and I also actively listen. It's crazy. It's also called just like being a human being and being present.
Right,
it turns
exactly.
out. So.
All right, before we let you go, how is baby Archie doing?
Oh my God. So a source who saw him recently said he's the cutest, happiest little baby. He's got these chubby little legs. He's got little tufts of red hair, which is adorable. I need more photos, so please.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Instagram.
we're always, our eyes always peeled on that Sussex Royal Instagram account, right? That's the
right.
one. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you so
It's
much
great to talk to you and get the inside scoop. You can read more about how the royal kids are growing up in this week's People.
It's like, you know, the next stage of my life. I mean, I'm a grandma and I love it, and I just adore those little girls. They're angels. I just love being a grandma.
Sharon Osbourne opening up about grandmotherhood. In this week's issue of People, we are shining a light on some fabulous grandmas who are about more than just knitting sweaters and baking cookies.
Yeah, 66-year-old Sharon reveals that her 3 grandchildren, Andy, Minnie, and Pearl, all call her Nana, and her famous rock star husband, Ozzy Osbourne, goes by Papa.
And just like her own kids, her grandkids love seeing their Papa perform.
They come to Ozzy shows and they love it, and, you know, they sit on the side of the stage, and it's just like our kids did. Our kids used to do that when they were the same ages, and here we are now with the grandkids. So it's great. It's like from one generation to the other. You know, my kids embrace what Ozzy did, what I did for a living, and now our grandkids embrace it and enjoy being there, and, you know, the whole thing that goes on. And it's like, to see their little eyes and all of this is going on, you know, it's larger than life for them, and it's just great.
So it got us wondering, how is the Prince of Darkness as a grandfather? Take a look.
He's so cute with them, you know. He watches everything from the baby channel on with them, and they watch old movies and cartoons. Ozzy does a lot of drawing with the girls. They all, you know, 3 of them sit around the kitchen table and they're all drawing, and it's lovely. They usually come in and wake us up really early, and we're like, oh, no problem, no problem. Like, we don't mind. Come on, let's go and get breakfast. And Ozzy, I'll sit with them. Ozzy will make them breakfast. And then it's like, okay, what are we going to do today? And then we all decide. We have like a group meeting and decide what we're going to do today.
I mean, honestly, you can only imagine what it would be like having Ozzy Osbourne as your grandfather. Their house must be so fun for the kids to go to, right?
And Sharon admits she's definitely into spoiling her grandkids rotten and basically does the opposite of what their parents ask her to do.
they tell me don't give them to eat and don't give them chocolate and don't give them this. They get it all when they're here. And I know that they get grilled when they go home. What did you eat? What did... But I tell them, don't say anything. What goes on at Nan's stays at Nan's. You know, like going to Vegas.
Yeah, while Sharon loves to give her grandkids anything they want, she also wants them to remain grounded and humble, especially since they're growing up surrounded by money and fame. Take a look.
I think that when you're brought up with it, not that it's not a big deal, but you accept that's what your family does. And so you don't brag. There's nothing to brag because everybody's got parents that do whatever. Whether, you know, they're a chef or, you know what, you're a maid or whatever, and they do their best at their work. I don't want them to think that they're any more special or any more grander or this one's got this or that one's... I hate all of that. I find it really off-putting. You know, what, my daddy's got this and my daddy's got a plane, and I'm like, shut up. I can't deal with it at all.
I love her. Sharon also opens up about how her son Jack is coping after his divorce was finalized in March. She explains the importance of providing stability for Jack's kids during such a tough time and how Ozzy has been able to support his son through it all.
I look at it like we are this thing that just is, you know, we're not going to change. Nothing's going to change. You know what you're going to get when you come here. And it's been great to have that at this point in their lives with what's going on. And, you know, it's been bad for Jack. He's, you know, been divorced with a guy. There's only so much that I can say, that I can do. That, you know, it's really his dad that, you know, he talks to that about, because Ozzy's been divorced. And when Jack said that he was getting divorced, Ozzy cried because he said, I'm crying for you because I know how painful it's going to be because I've been through it and I don't want you to experience that pain.
Wow, interesting to hear her perspective, kind of the mom supportive perspective there. But we were curious, does Sharon notice a big difference between being a mom versus being a nana? And here's what this grandma has to say about that.
You do lose so much when all your kids move out, and they've been moved out for years. But now we have the grandkids, you know, they do sleepovers and all of that, and Ozzy and I are just thrilled to have them here. We adore them. I don't feel any difference, and I know that so many grandparents say it's the best because, you know, they go home. I don't want them to go home, I want them to stay here.
What are you gonna do? You gonna walk back to August?
I will do anything if it gets me away from you.
Children, children, children! This interminable bickering was amusing at first, but it's getting very stale and we've still got a long drive ahead of us. So, why don't you two cut the and get to the part where you admit your sexual feelings for one another.
Whoa!
You are way off base,
Oh, spare me, spare me, spare me.
Oh, so good. We absolutely love him in this. Brett Gelman plays the conspiracy theorist Murray Bauman in the Stranger Things Season 2 and 3. He's a crucial player who helped take down the Russians. Spoiler alert! Helped take down the Russians in Season 3.
And Brett joins us now to talk about the great summer he's having being on Stranger Things and the Emmy-nominated Fleabag. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm on a Fleabag binge, so this is great timing. You're amazing in this. You're amazing in both of these shows.
Thank you so much.
We have a
You're
Midwest.
amazing. You're amazing.
We have a Midwest connection.
We do.
Yeah.
You're Wisconsin. I'm Illinois, Chicago.
A lot of time in Wisconsin.
I know.
It's kind of there. Like you did a lot of fishing as a kid.
I did. The guys would go to Door County, Wisconsin. Yeah,
Okay.
and
Great.
we would fish every day. And
Okay, so now actor life, superstar status.
Right,
Do you still make time?
No more fishing.
No more fishing for you.
No more fishing.
Do you still
life.
make time for the you know the small things like a lake fishing expedition?
No, I think after childhood, I don't think I really had a taste for fishing.
Okay.
It's like boring followed by murder. I mean, it's like you sit around and then you like violently murder the fish. It's not really my thing. I do eat fish, so it's like, I guess that makes me a hypocrite.
hypocrite.
No.
We'll just leave that.
It's disconnected from the
No,
paint.
it's not my thing.
Well, let's talk about Stranger
Back to
Things.
my uncles.
Season 3, Stranger Things, really great. As you look back on
you.
that experience filming it, what stands out to you as a favorite memory?
It was really great filming like the carnival scene. It was like a fully working carnival, and it was like 30 degrees outside, and it was a night shoot, so we were shooting really late. But it's such a great thing when you're in those conditions, and then everybody still is like working so positively because we all like are on this mission to like play and make this thing that we love. It
That is a
doesn't feel
testament
like
to
this,
it, yeah.
huge deal when you're doing it. It feels like this like small family. So it's really fun.
And you joined in season 2, you watched these kids grow up on set. What's been the most surprising part about watching them get a little older while they do this?
That they're just so cool, and they keep it so together, and I think they really take the fact that they're role models very seriously, and they handle that with a lot of responsibility, and they're really just like a positive group of kids, I mean, at least to me, but like I kind of like benefited by being like the funny uncle.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So
that does feel like that would be the vibe. And look, none of us can pick a favorite, but did you have a particular bond with someone on the cast that really sticks out?
Like with the kids or like
with the
everybody?
kids. Let's say the kids.
Wow. I'd say like, Millie, it just was, we like had this great time when we were at like Stranger Con, which is this Stranger Things convention, where she had like everybody cheer for us like on stage. And I mean, it was just wild. It was wild to see these kids cheer. It's like what you think like the Beatles.
Also, can you, from in the world of acting and possible career moves, to be on a show that has its own convention is next level. I mean, the fan base and everything else, incredible.
I know, it is amazing. It's amazing to see like people care about it so much. I was saying this to somebody the other day, like, for me, it's like, it's like the equivalent of being like a Star Wars character.
It kind of is, right?
Growing up, it's like so insane.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
You play this conspiracy theorist. It's a wild world out there. I know a few conspiracy theorists.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody is these days,
yeah.
right?
Are there any
Well, it's easy to do.
conspiracies that you've kind of dug into or find fascinating, maybe doing your research?
Yeah, that like I'm not hot. Just kidding.
Much debunked conspiracy.
I don't know. It's like really hard to try. I mean, it's so dark. But this Epstein thing is really,
man,
very creeped out but fascinating. Like what is going on? Like, it's like, so do you just get an amount of money and then just become evil? Like join secret clubs like this?
Dark.
It's like very weird.
It's like
very
you see it in movies and you always hope it's not true.
Yeah.
And things like this happen.
Right.
In the show, you have this Russian ability to speak Russian. You speak Russian.
Right, yeah.
How can I make
that is
this
a
work?
Russian ability.
Yeah, Russian ability. You speak Russian. Was there a difficult phrase for you? Something that, a line that was the toughest to deliver?
Oh my God. I mean, they're all incredibly difficult. I don't remember any of them.
Oh, really?
I had a woman come up to me and start speaking Russian to me the other night, and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't understand anything that you're saying.
You're like, I knew the exact lines, and that was it.
Exactly. Practice those, practiced, and then forgot after it was done. But like,
But kudos that this
lucky.
woman thought she was so convinced.
I know, really cool, right? I've had a couple Russian speakers say that to me, which, hey, thank you, Elena Baranova. That was my coach.
Spoiler alert, the season ended on a cliffhanger with no one really sure about the fate of Chief Hopper, but there is this number people can call. It goes to a pre-recorded message from you, so let's play this.
Hi, you have reached the residence of Murray Bauman. Mom, if this is you, please hang up and call me between the hours of 5 and 6 p.m. as previously discussed, okay? If this is Joyce, thank you for calling. I've been trying to reach you. I have an update. It's about, it's probably best if we speak in person. It's not good or bad, but it's something.
Okay, so is Hopper the American you're referring to? What can you tell us about this cryptic?
I don't know. I don't know anything. The Duffers wrote that for me to say, and then, they just basically were like, hey, follow the emotions of how you feel about your mom and how you feel about Winona, about Joyce, and then everybody else. Yeah. So it was basically, I love, but I'm annoyed with my mother. I feel like I like Joyce, and then I hate everyone else. So like, that's kind
of what you had to go on.
Yeah, but they don't, they won't tell me anything. They're very secretive.
I like
about
that they
it.
have those little clues though, and that they have this element where you can call a number.
An Easter egg, right?
Yeah.
A little Easter egg that even you aren't fully sure about.
I know.
It would appear from the voicemail that you would play a part in a season 4. If and when confirmed.
Oh God, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope we hear that confirmation soon, but I don't know.
Any updates on the possibility of that? What are the murmurings among the cast and your insiders?
I mean, none of us say anything about it. Yeah, no, none of us know anything. Yeah, really. They keep it like very secret until the absolute last minute. So I really hope that I'm a part of season 4, but I don't know yet.
All right.
We hope you are too. Stranger
Thank you.
Things is amazing. You're great in it. Also, so great in Fleabag. Let's
Thank
talk
you
about
so
this.
much.
Just got nominated for 11 Emmys.
I know.
So what was your reaction when you heard that?
I was so proud and happy. I mean, it's crazy. 11. That's insane for our little show that we did,
Yeah.
very quickly.
Well,
Was it super quick?
Yeah, we shot it in like a month.
Wow.
I
No, it
guess
is.
maybe that's not so quick. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it was one of those things we were saying before, like how great to be on these 2 big shows, but this one is really gaining steam and momentum, and the audience is really kind of culminating around it. You've called your character a bit of a toxic male, described him as sexually offensive. We actually have a clip of you from the show. Let's take a look, and then we'll break all this down.
I tried to kiss your sister on her birthday.
My birthday?
Fine, I mix up birthdays and I have an alcohol problem just like everyone else in this country. But I am here and I do things. I pick up Jake from I make dessert for Easter. I organize the downstairs toilet. I fired the humming cleaner.
You enjoyed that.
I hoovered the car. I put up all your certificates and I don't make you feel guilty for not having sex with me. I am not a bad guy. I just have a bad personality. It's not my fault.
I love the line, I hoovered the car. That's the real point that you wanted to make.
And I fired the humming cleaner. I'm very proud of those lines because those are very British phrases.
Yeah.
We don't call the cleaning lady or the housekeeper the cleaner. So
This just seems like it would be so fun to sink your teeth into. What do you love about this character the most?
I mean, I love her writing so much. I mean, she just is really so brilliant. She's really just a true singular artist. And so, I mean, this character, I love him because, he really, I think down deep, he's not a bad person. I think that he is just really hates himself. And I think that you really see that in that monologue there. And that monologue is really like the starting point that fuels all of this bad behavior. And what I really love about it too is that, like, I think, and what I love about her is she creates so many discussions in the show, and she really creates a discussion around like a toxic male character like this. And that it really is like unchecked self-hatred, unchecked emotional and psychological problems mixed with like feeling completely alienated, and not being able to connect to anybody else.
Also sort of shows how someone like that requires everyone around them to sort of handle it and fix it and figure it out. Olivia Colman, also one of the many amazing women in this.
I know, yeah, she's all right?
So, tell us about working with her and kind of anticipation and then reality.
Well, like I knew from working with her on the first season, and I mean, she's one of the greatest actors I think ever, and certainly that I've ever worked with. And I could say that about every actor on that show and Stranger Things. But yeah, she just, I mean, she's like, she almost seems like a savant to me. She just shows up and she's like, oh, darling, like, what I had for dinner last night? Action, and like, boom, she's like right in it. There's no pretentious process or anything like that.
Yeah. It's got to be such a treat to work with them. You have Olivia Colman, Sian Clifford, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Yeah.
Which must be just so amazing. And then nominated for 11 Emmys. I mean, but some actors have said that this is going to be the last season, that there's not going to be season 3.
I know.
How could that be?
I like am, I'm surprised by it too. I mean, but also not. Like Phoebe like very much marches to the beat of her own drum.
So it's up to her.
It is up to her. It's always up to her. No, I mean, I think that Amazon would gladly have another season.
Get the campaign going.
But she kind of like, she does things as she feels, and I think that's how she makes
I want to
the
see
work
it keep
so
going.
special.
It's so great. If you guys haven't seen it, check out Fleabag. We have to talk about your Instagram because it's so funny and random.
Is it really?
So let's watch this just random video that you posted recently.
I love myself. I love who I am. I love myself. I love who I am.
It is so funny. I did a deep dive on your Instagram, and there's so many videos like this. Is this just stream of consciousness? Where do you get the inspiration?
It's just like unbridled stupidity. I mean, from my own dumb brain. I don't know. It's amazing, like, that you take 4 seconds to do something so stupid, and then thousands of people
just watch it and then like bring it up later.
Yeah, I don't know. I like to like give people a little chuckle as they're looking at it. I think that that's a good thing to do on social media.
I feel like maybe a good way.
Inspirational.
And a good way to.
I'm inspired after watching that video. I'm like, I love myself. I do.
Good way to click out of that Fleabag character too.
It got a big reaction. I think people really want to love themselves right now, which I think they should.
Time for a quick game. We're almost out of time, but we're going to do this. We're going to play a Stranger Things version of a game we like to call Confess Sesh. All you have to do is take a piece of paper out of the jar and answer it. If there's no relevant answer from your real life, you can go into character, answer as Murray from Stranger Things, whatever you want to do.
My God.
Sky's the limit here.
Okay, great. Strangest co-star you've ever worked with. Oh my God. Okay, I did a commercial with Paula Abdul.
Whoa.
And she had her like chihuahuas who were in dresses and nail polish in a stroller. And at one point during the shoot, she started like making out with the dogs and like kissing them on the mouth, which I'm not against. I think that's totally cool to like kiss your dogs. Like they're your kids and like they're dogs, they lick and they're messy, so you get messy with them. But like she was like, hey, why don't we film this? And she was like,
wait, that wasn't part of the commercial.
Was not. And then the DP, the cameraman, just like took the camera and was like, it was like he was like just saw like the
Gold.
face of God appear on set and just captured it. Unfortunately, it was not in the commercial.
Oh, too bad. That is a really good story.
Yeah, that was really strange. Should I do another?
Yeah.
Okay, I shouldn't have put the old one back in there. I'm sorry. Okay. Strangest news story you've seen. Oh my God. I mean, every day, right? Every day there's just a really strange story.
Just when you think you can't, you know what? It's like, what's the difference between The Onion and like real stuff at this point?
I know. Just a tweet is a news story, right? That's crazy.
I will never forget that Paula Abdul. I have it locked in. Thank you for that.
No, I know.
Thank you for coming.
I've had some weirdos. Maybe I'm a weirdo. I don't know. Maybe I would be the name that was
Well,
called
please
out.
come back and share your weirdness with us anytime.
Thanks for stopping by. You guys can catch Brett Gelman in Stranger Things on Netflix and Fleabag on Amazon Prime Video. Now switching gears to this. Shannen Doherty may be starring in the reboot of Beverly Hills 90210, but the actress is still dealing with her recovery from a terrible fight with breast cancer. She was diagnosed in 2015 and is now in remission.
She's opening up in this week's issue of People about her struggles and even reveals that the long days filming have taken a toll on her body. Watch this.
I think the funny thing with cancer and people's perception is that once you're, supposedly like no longer on chemo or radiation, that you are fine. And you bounce back and, hey, you can work 16, 18 hours a day. And what they don't realize is that your body has been through something so incredibly difficult that your body never fully bounces back.
Doherty also reveals that she is still coming to terms with how her body has changed. She says, I'm never going to be the size I used to be. Some of my meds that I'm on keep zapping the collagen out of me, so I'm never going to have a wrinkle-free face. I'm critical of myself, but there are some things you can't fight.
Even though the days on set can be long, being back on the set of Beverly Hills 90210 means a lot more to Doherty this time around.
It's always interesting to get back together with a group that you have so much history with. And so much later in life and see, have you grown, have you not grown, or, are you still stuck there, or, are you not stuck there? It's a very interesting dynamic to be around. And it was a job that I did, to sort of pay homage to a dear friend, and it was a great 6 episodes, and curious to see what the audience thinks.
Now, Shannen was known to the media as the show's resident bad girl due to some on-set tensions, but she tells people that it was mostly a misunderstanding.
Yeah, I was misunderstood. Like, I didn't share or wasn't asked or whatever it was. So, you know, if somebody had a problem with me being late, perhaps they didn't know that, oh, I was late because my dad was in the hospital. You know, like, and I wasn't sharing that. I wasn't sharing the fact that my dad was super sick. So I would just go to the hospital and deal with things. So it was just a general large, you know, misunderstanding. And I'm not saying that it was all a misunderstanding. I'm just saying that there was a large portion that was a misunderstanding.
And for more on Shannen Doherty, be sure to pick up a copy of People on newsstands Friday. Now watch this.
He'd be bubbly and fun, and then as soon as he's by himself and alone, he would just crash.
I have these demons that run around in my insides. I've done everything in the world thinking I'm going to get rid of them. I don't know if it ever will.
We had so many challenging things to deal with, but I still loved him.
In Paramount Network's new documentary, I Am Patrick Swayze, Swayze's friends, co-stars, and loved ones are honoring his life and legacy and revealing some painful secrets about his demons.
His widow, Lisa Naomi Swayze, says in the film that the actor's mom was, quote, really an example of what happens in families in a cycle of abuse. Lisa remembers that Swayze's mother could be very violent, critical, and negative, but also describes her as a complicated woman, intense, and an amazing life force. She adds Patrick absolutely loved and respected her. Lisa says he and his mother went on to have a much better relationship as his career took off, and they stayed close until his death. His mother died just 4 years later.
And in this week's issue of People, Lisa tells us she can still sense Swayze's presence even after almost a decade. Lisa married again in 2014, but says she still feels like Swayze's in her life every day. She explains, when you move past the extreme pain of losing someone you love, you actually become close in a different way. She adds, he's still in my dreams. In the beginning, you kind of think the pain is gonna help you hold on to them, and it doesn't. But he's still in my life, I haven't lost him, and that was my fear.
1 month from today will mark the 10-year anniversary of Swayze's death from stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And to this day, Lisa is inspired by something Swayze always said about losing loved ones. Quote, you honor their spirit for as long as you live.
She plans to honor him until the end of her life and has no doubt they'll be reunited in death. She says, yeah, he'll be waiting for me, and that's a wonderful thing. I Am Patrick Swayze premieres on Paramount Network this Sunday, August 18th, which would have been Swayze's 67th birthday.
All right, guys, coming up tomorrow, we are recapping all of this week's Real Housewives drama out of the OC and Potomac.
Plus, Sistine Stallone opens up about dad Sylvester Stallone's embarrassing Instagram habits. It's really funny. Thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from WWE superstar Stone Cold Steve Austin. Bye.
Hi, I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is one last thing. The last song stuck in my head. Seventh son of a seventh son, Iron Maiden. How about that? The last TV show I binge watched was Walking Dead.
If you don't protect what belongs to you, then sooner or later, it belongs to someone else.
The last time I used my favorite catchphrase, 2 weeks ago in Tampa, Florida at the Raw reunion with WWE, and that's the bottom line because I said so.
And that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone